Are we live? Can you hear me? I hear something. What's going on, my people and Dorian's people? Second time live. This is the Golden Octagon MMA podcast. I am Matt. Dorian is on the other side of your screen. And we are here this week to talk about this past weekend's fights. Let me pull this banner up real quick, give you guys a quick little rundown on what to look forward to in today's show. Not a whole lot, though, because we do not have fights this upcoming weekend. So that's kind of ass. So up first on today's show, we will be talking about UFC 283, Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill, the results, the recap, give you our thoughts and opinions on the fights, and then we'll move on to some fight news and announcement. And then if there's anyone in the chat, we'll hang around for just a few minutes, answer some questions at the end if there's anyone that wants to say anything. So let me get this off the screen now. And geez, what did I do? All right. So if any of that interests you, remember, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, put all your thoughts in the comment section down below. We've been going strong at this for a little bit over 2 years now. This is our third year. So just trying to slowly grow. We just crossed over that 800 mark, dude. A few days ago, I think maybe 2 days ago, something like that. So feels pretty nice. Been making some big moves over here. It's official, Dorian. I've fucking sent you the little screenshot, but the Golden Octagon LLC is now a thing. I opened a business, dude. So gonna start going into the card break business. Maybe I can explain it to you at a later date, but yeah, dude, big moves over here on the channel. So we'll get rid of that, and then we'll pretty much just jump into the first topic of today's show. Before we get started there, Dorian, let the people know how you've been. You're muted, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was coughing in the background, but no, man, been doing good. We've been rocking, and no acknowledgement of the background.
Oh shit!
Now that I got a background up, you've been you've been on it for a little bit about it now, and now I got
let's put on full screen. Got
a little something going here. This one, I had to get another Izzy poster because my other one got messed up in the move over to the new house. And really always been an Izzy fan, but that was kind of the fight that really took my fandom kind of over the top. So, and kind of had to bring it back with the throwbacks over here with the gloves and the old UFC kind of bars type sign. So yeah, trying to get this thing pepped up a little bit.
Yeah. Shout out our one live viewer right now, Kyle. What's up, brother? What's up? Glad you stopped by, and there was
what up, Kyle?
Was somebody that stopped by earlier, but before we went live, so yeah. But let's get into it, dude. Let's get into this past weekend's fights. Let me see if I can get my screen share up here. Share screen. Oh no, what happened? Yeah. There we go. Share. Boom. And then we'll jump right into this and get into our results and let you guys know the sad news for this week. But in the main event, Jamal Hill did win via unanimous decision over Glover Teixeira. In the co-main event, Brandon Moreno, doctor stoppage in between round 3 and 4, eye injury for Davidson Figueroa. Gilbert Burns did submit Neil Magny via arm triangle. Jessica Andrade just pretty much mollywop Lauren Murphy. Dude, she is tougher. So tough, dude. But yeah. Johnny Walker does TKO Paul Craig round 1. Ihor Peteria does knockout Shogun Hua. Man, early round 1, that was pretty rough one to see. Right here, dude, this one breaks my damn heart. Bruno Ferreira, the Hulk, knocks out the Hobo Cop. Man, what happened there? It's baloney, dude. I don't know. Thiago Moises does finish Melquizil Costa. I don't remember, dude. Melquizil Costa via submission, rear naked choke to be specific. Gabriel Bonfim does get Munir Lazez out of there pretty much like 10 seconds into round 1 with the guillotine choke. Was it 49 seconds to be exact? Jelton Almeida was just looking up at the referee so much, trying to get Shamil Abdurakhimov out of there. But round 2, dude, kind of surprising. Barely went over that 1.5 mark. Cody Stamann does get that round, the unanimous decision overall. Israel Bonfim hits Terrence McKinney with a nasty flying knee. Nicholas Dalby does get the split decision win over Worley Alves. I saw that one coming. Josiane Nunez beats Zara Fern by unanimous decision. And that was an early parlay buster for me, not going to lie. And Daniel Marcos does get the dub. TKO round 2, knees to the body over Simon Oliveira. So, yeah, man, that is the results for this past weekend. So let's jump on into it, man. Main takeaways from the card overall, dude.
It was cool to see the return back to Brazil, them kind of getting back and, acclimated to going overseas with these cards. And we kind of know how much the Brazilian crowd is kind of a mainstay, for MMA and just kind of where everything originated with Royce Gracie and things like that. I did think the crowd there, well, the thing I didn't like the most was, of course, the Brandon Moreno thing, and we'll kind of get into that too. But man, they're in the main event. Once they kind of knew the results, man, they cleared shop pretty quick, didn't they? I mean, they packed their bags and got the hell up out of there. Didn't even want to stick around and kind of support their guy. I like that Glover said after the fight, "Hey, don't throw anything at Jamal Hill." Well, I think he was talking to maybe 20 people in the crowd because there was nobody else left. But it was cool to see them make their return back to Brazil. And yeah, I like the crowd, but thought the crowd was kind of crappy there towards the end.
Yeah, man. I can't believe they were actually throwing stuff at Brandon. That's like, damn, dude. Like, at least give him, like, he won. Like, he didn't eye poke him or anything like that. So, it is what it is. Yeah, dude. Are you happy? Or, dude, I just want to point out, dude, and we'll get to it. I don't know who's tougher, dude. Glover Teixeira or Lauren Murphy, dude. Glover Teixeira's like eyebrows were like literally hanging off of his face. It was kind of crazy to see. It's like in any other place, I believe that would have been stopped. How about you?
Which one?
Glover's eyebrows falling off of his face.
Yeah, because I know you mentioned Lauren Murphy too, but yeah, I would have probably thought that. Maybe in the fourth round when he's kind of, blitzing him on the cage there and he's throwing them combos, I was surprised that the ref had never came in and issued a stoppage. But it's crazy, man. You kind of seen Glover take that type of beating and the ref still kind of give him a little bit of a leash. But with Israel Adesanya, don't you think in a similar kind of world that was a similar moment, and I would say Glover was hurt much more than what Izzy was in their fight, and that fight never got stopped. So just throwing that out there as a just comparison sake.
Yeah, I will for sure give you that. Like they were letting like the Brazilians have like they weren't going to stop it for them at any point, dude. But. Yeah, that was one of our 3 different picks on the card, dude. So, I'll let you have that one. I was just really rooting for Glover. I was hoping that he would get it done, and I pretty much picked a lot of Brazilians, at least on the main card this past one. But let's move on down to the co-main event. Anything else on the main, dude? Or are you good?
Well, I guess because we don't have any fights to preview this weekend. I was wanting to see who you thought maybe as far as who could be next for Jamal Hill, because I know dude,
I love the Alex idea. I just love it. I said it earlier, like, dude, I think Alex could. I believe it was the first podcast of the year. I was like, I think Alex might move up to 205. And damn, dude, if he if he isn't tweeting at Jamal Hill already, dude. Like Jerry's hurt. Like how? Like what are you doing or something shit like that?
Yeah, and I do like the idea of that fight. Just because you have the background story of Alex Pereira, of course, middleweight champion, teammate of Glover Teixeira, coming to avenge his guy's loss. So I do understand from that sense that hey, that's a little bit of a storyline, but dang, he just now got the middleweight title. Let's not try to move him up already to fight for the 205 title and, potentially jeopardize in terms of holding up the division in the middleweight and light heavyweight. Because Yuri's going to be coming back probably at the end of the year anyway. If it's me, I think you end up holding Jamal out until Yuri said maybe July or August, but it sounds like he could go then if needed, but it sounded like, in his own opinion, in his interview with Ariel Helwani, it sounded like he really wanted to try to wait closer to the end of the year. I think that's the better fight rather than throwing Magomed Ankalaev in there. But a lot of people were saying, man, Magomed Ankalaev, and some people might think this is an unpopular opinion, but people might not have liked the result from Magomed and Jan fighting one another, but there's still a lot of questions left to be answered from that fight. And I think there's a chance you run them actually back to fight again, because both guys are in the same position of, hey, you're probably one more fight away from fighting for the title. You are the two top contenders in the division. That's not Yuri Prochazka right now. I think they end up fighting again, and I think that Yuri ends up getting the title shot maybe later in the year.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think it's a little bit too early to tell, just because the fight just now happened. So unless like Jamal Hill's like trying to go like right away, like I think they got some time to wait. But yeah, dude, I'm not trying to spend all damn day on this shit.
Oh yeah, nah, that's all I really wanted to.
All right,
that's all I really want to poke out of there.
Co-main event, dude. We got Brandon Moreno versus Davidson Figueroa, dude, for the fourth time, dude, to settle the quadrilogy, dude, the fourth fight between them. And I did go Davidson Figueroa. I thought being in Brazil would maybe have its benefits, but it didn't matter. The assassin baby put the knuckles in the eye of Davidson Figueroa, swelled his eye up huge, dude, and he was like, eye poke. Nah, dude, you got punched. You may have caught a knuckle to the eye, but that knuckle was on a punch. It wasn't eye poke. So shit sucks. It is what it is. But I thought Brandon was still kind of winning though. Like, it was a close fight, but I'm much more of a Brandon Moreno fan than I am a Deuce Teixeira fan, but I just thought the Brazil was going to help him in, and I was trying to get my picks correct to get the pick champ for the week. But yeah, anything on or I guess give me your thoughts on this fight, dude.
Yeah, I thought to the point that the fight got stopped, I actually thought Moreno was winning all three rounds. I thought the rounds were kind of close, but I thought that Moreno, like in the first round, he had a little bit more control with the wrestling, and I just thought he had just kind of outpaced Figueiredo there in the second round. I just think this, I guess this set of fights, it really has been one of the better rivalries in all the sport, and this fight was, I don't want to say a letdown, but compared to how the series has gone so far, this was the least satisfying finish out of all four fights so far. But I thought that Moreno kind of definitely put a stamp on the series as far as him being the better fighter. Whether I heard one argument when someone said that, hey, we wouldn't even be in a fourth fight if it wasn't for a Davidson Figueiredo groin strike in the first fight to make that one a draw. We wouldn't even be in this situation. But that's the kind of stuff that Davidson Figueiredo does. And you seen when they were on the ground in the first round when Davidson Figueiredo is going for the heel hook and he's throwing like head kicks at Moreno while he's on the ground. Like, dude, we're not in Pride. Like, you're not like sitting here throwing fucking head kicks like you're Shogun or Vanderlei Silva when dudes are on the ground. You just can't do that. He does do some kind of dirty stuff like that, man. So in regards to that first fight, I mean, that kind of that's par for the course with Davidson Figueiredo. He's kind of going to do some grimy stuff during a fight. Because he's got a little bit of that nasty edge to him, which does help the entertainment factor as far as watching him fight. But that's one part of the game that I don't like of his too much. But I thought that Brandon Moreno was up clean 3 rounds at the point of the stoppage. I'd asked you if you thought it was an eye poke. Initially, the broadcast tape was going crazy, like, oh yeah, on the follow-up, Moreno poked him, and like, me and Amber were literally sitting there watching the replay, and we're like, dude, I don't see an eye poke. Like they are trying to insist so much that like, hey, on this follow up, he got hit with an eye poke. I didn't see an eye poke. Looked like a clean punch, clear as day, and Moreno rightfully won the fight.
Yeah, man. I'm happy for the assassin, baby. I'm glad that he got the title back. Kind of worried because you saw who the backup was there. Alexandre Pantoja made weight, dude, and he's got to be next, dude. And he's already beat him twice, yeah.
Yeah, beat him once in the Ultimate Fighter, and then beat him once actually in the UFC. I believe it was Brandon Moreno when his first stint in the UFC. It was his last fight before the UFC had actually cut Brandon Moreno the first time around. So a little bit of a story there, and Pantoja is a beast, man. And he's had a couple finishes in a row, I believe now. So he's been on a roll, and I think that's the rightful guy to line up next and fight for the title.
How do you feel about Deuce Teixeira moving up to 135? Or I guess he took off his gloves. I was like, is he like retiring? Like he's like took off his gloves to move up to 135. I was like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Like,
yeah, but I have noticed that he does tend to do that in a lot of his fights. That he tends to throw off the gloves. I think even in their going back their last few fights, he had taken off his gloves at the end of each fight. I think that's just a regular thing for him, but I guess we're so used to people retiring and they throw off their gloves. I think 135 for him though.
Like he's like a little bit older too. So
yeah, he's 35. To me, if you're talking about as far as title aspirations, I mean he's not going to win a title with those killers up at the top of the division. And he's a really good fighter. I think his power will carry to a certain extent, but when you get up there and you're talking about fighting really big guys like O'Malley and Sandhagen and Aljamain, and you're talking about those types of bigger dudes, I think those are going to be very tough matchups for Figueiredo when it comes to trying to make his name at 135. But if you're talking about just as far as fun matchups, I mean, you could throw him in there against Rob Font or Cody Garbrandt, and I think you can make some hella fun fights. So I don't think there's a chance that he goes up and gets completely washed, but I think as far as him becoming a champion, I don't like his chances.
Yeah, man, I pretty much feel the same. 125 is getting pretty interesting though, and I'm for sure a fan. So let's take care of this last bit of subject real quick. Those were our first, I guess, our last two different fights of the night. And you got those correct. So you are this week's reigning and new pick champ of the week. I have to get rid of this bad boy. The official turnover. Old D Rose is the pick champ for the week. The first time for the year. And hopefully the last time for the year. You can have it for these next 2 weeks. There's no fights this upcoming weekend. But the following week, I'm coming for that ass.
I'm gonna be like next week. I'm gonna be like, how many weeks in a row has it been since I've had the bell? Because oh my gosh, I've had it so long.
All right, so but you didn't do what I did last week with the clean sweep, because I got to point out our third different pick was Warley Alves versus Nicholas Dalby, dude. And I'm pretty good at picking Nicholas Dalby. I don't know, dude. I'm able to pinpoint like just certain points. I'm like, I think he can outpace, dude. That fucking breathing that he does, he's like like the whole fight. Like when he's grappling, the dude is fucking huffing and puffing nonstop. So I don't know. It just helps him. I'm a fan. Everyone kind of hates on him, but I think he's consistent. He's got a good gas tank, and you can bet on him by decision rather often. So that was our third different pick, dude. But let's move on up back to the main card just real quick. Gilbert Burns taking on Neil Magny, dude. Gilbert Burns with a round one sub. I'm sure we all saw that coming, yeah.
Well, I know you're a guy who likes to note that Gilbert Burns has not had a finish since he's been at 170, so I'm sure I'm sure it had to be at least a little bit surprising to you that he was able to finish him with the way that he did.
I think Gilbert is like on a mission to get back to the title, so he's going in to finish. I think that if he runs into a person that he can't finish, we're going to see him gas out, because I think that if he fights like he has been, like the past few fights, he's going to gas, dude. In the Hamzat fight, dude, they were huffing and puffing round 3, both of them were, but that fight was absolutely fucking nuts, though. I think if he runs into someone that he can't finish, he might have some gas tank issues. But I like how Gilbert's fighting now, dude. I just think a switch has flipped, and I'm slowly, Gilbert Burns is slowly becoming one of my favorites to watch, dude. I just enjoy he comes out, dude, pedal to the metal, like tries to throw punches, but at the end of the day, you know where he wants it. Not the best chin in the world, so it kind of makes it fun too,
Yeah, no, he definitely brings the fight, which is why I've always noted how much of a dangerous person that I think that he is, and I think in that the only thing with the Hamza fight is that I think he was so determined to go out there and knock Hamza out that he just kind of went away from the game plan completely, and once him and Hamza tasted a little bit of blood, they just both went out there and just decided to put on a show. How do we not pick that fight for Fight of the Year award last year? And I said Chandler and Poirier, and that was a great fight. But going back on it now, Gilbert Burns definitely Gilbert Burns and Hamza. That might have been Fight of the Year last year.
It was like
so early in the year. So. Well, and it was so early in the year too. I think just a fan of, or just having recency bias in our head. But as much as with the fight with Neil Magny, I mean Gilbert Burns, I mean there wasn't really too much to it. He just blew right through him. But I do like, as far as potential matchups with him, I think you could put him up just about against anybody, and I think you can make a super fun matchup. I know a lot of people were saying that they wanted to see him against Bilal Muhammad, and I didn't know what you had maybe thought about that fight with Bilal and Gilbert Burns going at it.
Yeah, dude, I like the fight. I think it's a good, number one contender spot for. I don't even want to say number one contender spot, just for who all is next. Tom Bullard saying he's a fan of Gilbert too, and what did he say? And only takes so much public costumes. God, exclusive. Yeah. I've grown a small fandom of Bohachinia. He cracks me up with the secret juice so much.
Yeah, no, Polycos is a funny dude. Him and Gilbert Burns, they're two different complete styles, just because Burns is super humble, super respectful, but he's super game and always down to fight, where Acosta is kind of I don't know. He's been a little bit of a diva here as of recently. I guess you could make the claim that he's been a little bit more of a diva. And but no, as far as his social media, no, his social media has definitely won me over a little bit too. He's definitely been funny as hell. Whoever, I guess his coach is Eric Albarracin or whoever, one of those guys. One of those guys are advising him correctly on social media.
Yeah, dude. So let's move on down to the. God damn, dude. I cannot believe this went all 3 rounds. Lauren Murphy took a 3-round demolishing from Jessica Andrade, dude. And, dude, it's like, at what point as a coach are you like, hey, you're like, at the end of round 2, like, there was no shot that she was going to beat Jessica Andrade, dude. She was just getting beat. She was like, dude, I don't even know the analogies to make, dude. I don't even know if she threw a punch back that entire fight. I literally just remember Jessica Andrade walking forward with complete disregard for anything that Lauren Murphy had, and just fucking throwing like this with leg kicks thrown in there. She's throwing all 4 limbs at once, dude. It made no sense. And she was just molly-whopping the fuck out of lucky Lauren Murphy. She was not very lucky in Brazil, dude. Oh, God. We always talk about how tough Lauren Murphy is, but goddamn, dude. Like, at a certain point, like, you're pretty old. And I sent you like that meme It was hilarious. I'll see if I can find it at some point. But it was I don't even know if it was a true statement or not. But if so, dude,
It
I
definitely
don't,
wasn't. It definitely wasn't a
dude.
true statement. But
But here's the thing though. You can't knock Lauren Murphy out. She has overdosed on hardcore drugs before and came back to life. You physically cannot knock her out. You got to get her out of there with a body shot or something like that. Drop her, hurt her, dude. I am convinced you cannot knock out like these drug addicts, dude. These like Jared Gordon's, Lauren Murphy, who's another one? Matt Brown. Although Matt Brown did eventually go out in his like later years, dude. For the longest time, dude, they had the strongest chins and they just ate punishment nonstop, dude. It's crazy. I cannot believe she ate that much damage, dude. What do you think, man? Oh shit. What here we go. Here we go. Right here. Right here. Her husband is her coach too, bro. Thanks, Kyle. I
yeah,
appreciate that, man. I did not know that. That is
that's what I was gonna say.
crazy.
Her
Get to
husband's her.
watch their wife just get the shit beat out of them for 3 rounds like that.
He was the one who kept saying, "Come on, you got the." When she went back in the corner for the third round, he was the one who kept saying, "You know, you got this, honey. You got this. You could do this. You know, just you're trying to box with her too."
In that guy and see if he was betting on fight to go to decision because there is no reason why he shouldn't have stopped that fight, dude.
Yeah, no, he was telling her, "Oh yeah, if you just go in there and go for the takedown, you can, you know, you're trying to box with her too much. Go in there and go for a takedown." And I understand that he's trying to give her strategic advice, but how many times did she try to go for a takedown and Jessica Andrade just threw her off of her like a rag doll and then just continued to just dog her? I mean, Lauren Murphy had nothing to offer for Jessica Andrade in that fight, and it was just it got to a point where it was kind of hard to watch because it was just the song by Meek Mill, you know, levels, you know, there's levels to this, and you know, it was just clear that Jessica Andrade just on a whole nother level than Lauren Murphy was. And Lauren Murphy had all the knots on her head, looking like kind of like a mini Joanna knot on her head.
Dude, I was about to say that. Yeah, like
Yeah,
her
dude,
head was starting to swell up. Yeah.
yeah, she had 2 or 3 different knots on her head. She was bleeding profusely. Yeah, it was getting rough to watch after a while. And Andrade basically did whatever she wanted to her.
Yeah, it was just pretty rough to see, but another great Jessica Andrade performance. Do you want to see her back down at 115 or you want to see her stay at 125?
I wouldn't mind seeing her down at 115, man. I seen that she came out after the fight in her post-fight press conference and had mentioned that she wants to try to get that fight with Wei Lee back. And right now, you know, as far as contenders for 115, you know, as far as fresh matchups for Wei Lee, Joanna's retired. You know, you got Amanda Lemos up there, but I think people would be a little bit excited, but that'd be a little bit more for the hardcore sake. But I think that, you know, you see a little bit more of a measured approach from Jessica Andrade now, whereas in the first fight with Zhang Wei Li, she didn't even have any head movement. She literally was just walking forward like this the whole time. No head
Just
movement
like the
or
Lauren
anything.
Murphy fight though. Like that she tried the Lauren Murphy technique, but she got fucked up for it.
Yeah, but like you could see Andrade in her next couple of fights with like Rose and a couple of those chicks where she was actually like working in a lot of her head movement. I think you didn't see it much from Jessica Andrade in this fight this past weekend with Lauren Murphy because again, Lauren Murphy had nothing to offer her as far as any danger whatsoever. She knew that she was absolutely fine. She ate a couple of her pillow punches and was like, "Oh, okay, this isn't bad at all," and just walked through everything and just absolutely smashed her. But I think you can see a little bit more of a smarter approach from Andrade against Wei Lee, and you know I'm always down for an Andrade fight, and Wei Lee brings a boom as well. So I think that's a fire matchup you can make right now.
For sure, man. So I guess last fight on the main card, which was the opener of the main card, we got Johnny Walker, Paul Craig. Everything all right?
Got my water. I got my water.
Okay. Yeah, dude, not really too much. Paul Craig went for a takedown. Johnny Walker just started blasting his face. And this is just like the Ryan Spann, dude. Let go, Paul Craig. Stop trying to tough out Johnny Walker punches to the chin, dude. Let go of his leg. But nope, he's just holding his leg up, just getting punched in the face, dude. Like, hey, let go, man. Like, just got knocked out, dude. Yeah, anything on this fight?
It wouldn't be a Johnny Walker fight if there wasn't like some spectacular, weird, dramatic ending that, you know, just and if he gets finished or if he gets to finish, it's always something that's going to, you know, gain attention from everybody because it's like this is one of the weirdest KOs that I've seen. And Johnny Walker literally is involved in almost all of them that I could think of that I've seen in the UFC. But he absolutely is entertainment. He's what I've noticed, he's starting to get a little bit of that old Johnny Walker swag back to him, you know, as far as having a little bit more of the bounce in his step, doing a little bit more of the
worm too.
Yeah, saw him bring back the worm. He's dancing a little bit more. He's dancing a little bit more in the fight. You know, I think that's when you see him at his best, and when he's loose is when you see him kind of doing the shadowing with his hands, and he's kind of faint, you know, jumping, throwing the knees, and you know, just those shots for him to generate that much power on one leg like that, it's absolutely crazy because you can see that one punch. He threw a punch and it kind of landed a little bit, and he threw a backhand and that one kind of landed. And when he came with that follow-up, like, dude, Paul Craig's head like completely snapped to the other side. Like, some of the shots from Johnny Walker were absolute bombs that he was landing from one leg. So a lot of people were saying that Paul Craig, oh, well, he quit. Well, no, I think, like you said, I think, you know, you got to let go of the leg at some point because he's going to keep smashing your face in. But at the same time, that's a very powerful dude that's laying some gloves on you right now too. So, you know, very easy to say that he quit, but you eat some shots from Johnny Walker like that, man.
No chance. Like, most people are going out, dude. Like,
Johnny Walker's spectacular, man.
Can we get what I've been asking for? I've been asking you this for, I feel like 2 months now, dude. Can we get this fight now that Johnny Walker won? Can we get this fight?
Which fight?
Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. Can we make this happen now? I guarantee you someone's going to sleep in this fight, dude.
No, I think you got to do Dominic Reyes and Paul Craig. Yeah. I think you got to do Dominic Reyes and Paul Craig. But I think where Dominic Reyes is at and where Johnny Walker is at, I mean, I think they're at two different points right now. I mean, Johnny Walker's on about a 2-3 fight win streak. I mean, Dominic Reyes hasn't won a fight in almost 4 years. So I think they're at two different points right now.
You might be right, dude. Yeah. Anyway, whatever, dude. Moving on. Prelims, dude. Shogun gets retired, dude. Yeah. 4 minutes into the first, or I guess I don't know if it was 4 minutes in the first round or if it was early in the first round.
It was about 4 minutes in because it was almost at the end of the first round because Shogun he showed a little bit more heart than as far as questioning his heart. I know he's going to show heart. Dude always has. It's been more of his ability as of late and lack thereof. He just hasn't been able to keep up like he used to. And just what I was worried about was, you know, my big thing was Igor Pateria. Okay, cool. Dangerous guy. Coming out the Contender Series, Ukrainian fighter. Maybe you're trying to garner some attention from over there. But one of the big things that I didn't like about the matchup was that you match up against a guy like Igor Pateria, and Igor Pateria gets the win. We all expected that to happen. But for Igor Pateria, is this really anything that's going to like build up his career, that's going to make him a more known guy than what he already is? I just don't see really the point in, you know, you just brought him up. Dominic Reyes. You could have put him up against Dominic Reyes, and that could have been a fight where you either get Dominic Reyes to get a little bit of swag back, or you get a good, a great farewell ending for Shogun, and Shogun could knock out Dominic Reyes. There's more benefits to both sides in a fight like that, rather than just putting Shogun up against Igor Pateria because you want to make sure you kill off your legends, just like you do, just like you managed to do almost all of them. It just didn't make sense as far as the matchmaking. And everything that happened in that fight, I just expected it to. Shogun just looked a lot slower than Pateria, and Pateria just got a little bit of his timing. Barely hit him with a check right hook and hurt Shogun, and he just couldn't recover, man. Just sad to see him go out like that.
Yeah, sad to see that ending for dude, UFC legend and champion, dude. Crazy to see. But moving on down, dude. Probably one of the last ones that I really want to dive into too much, dude. The Hulk versus the RoboCop. Bruno Ferreira taking on Gregory, the HoboCop Rodriguez, dude. The HoboCop got himself arrested, man. What the hell? I feel like, dude, whenever you pick him to win, he loses. Whenever just me picks him to win, he wins, dude. Like whenever you're on the RoboCop, I gotta be like, nope, he ain't winning this one. Dorian's picking him. He's about to take this L. Now, when you pick against them, that's when I'm like, all right, here comes RoboCop. Here comes the HoboCop gonna arrest someone. Dude, he got knocked out cold by the Hulk. And the Hulk looked like he was like, it looked like he could probably fight down a weight class, yeah?
I mean, I think he just looked a lot smaller than Gregory Rodriguez, but yeah, I thought that there was one thing that he had. It was that he definitely had the speed advantage over Gregory Rodriguez. I thought RoboCop was having a hard time kind of finding the range against Bruno. You know, every time he would kind of get close to landing a big shot, Bruno was kind of good about, you know, kind of ducking, slipping, or kind of rolling with it to where he's not eating the full extent of those punches. And it was a fun fight for as long as it lasted. And Bruno was all game for the whole time the fight lasted. You know, he was throwing big bombs himself and landing some big shots against RoboCop, backing RoboCop up at multiple times in the fight. You know, it was kind of tough because I even told Amber, I said, hey, you know, this is a fight you gotta watch. I said, this dude is absolutely crazy. He fights, he gets hurt every time, and he ends up coming back and he wins. And yeah, not so much this past weekend. He ends up getting hurt once, dude, and completely flatlined.
The dude out cold.
Yeah. And the only reason why I picked RoboCop was because Bruno he didn't have a training camp for this fight really, as opposed to, you know, he was training the fight Brad Tavares initially. RoboCop was. Mm-hmm. So I thought that RoboCop was going to have a little bit more of a gas tank. But I did mention that, hey, he takes a lot of damage in a lot of his fights. It's going to add up eventually until he decides to develop a little bit more head movement, or at least getting his hands up a little bit better and blocking the shots. But that punch that Bruno landed, I mean, honestly, it was beautiful. I love the way he set it up. He kind of threw the feinted both hooks, and then all of a sudden just threw the straight left down the middle from the southpaw position. Completely, just nasty. Just crushed him with one big shot. And good win from Bruno.
Crushed the HoboCop and crushed all my fucking parlays for this past weekend, dude. I was like, dude, after that fight, I was like, damn it, dude. I was just like, I guess there goes my bets. That's why I only bet like $25 a weekend. Because, dude, when I see some of those numbers on the screen, like this better put $5,000 on this person to win, it just makes me sick to my stomach. I'm like, bro, if I had $5,000 to just waste on a bet, dude, I would not waste it on a bet. I'd do something else cool with it. So early prelims, the two more that I actually want to talk about, and then I'll get your opinion. Israel Bonfim, Terrence McKinney, dude. I am convinced, dude, that Terrence McKinney has one round of gas, whether he is pacing himself or not, dude. It looked like in round two he was already gassed. I don't know if he was just outmatched, like the Bonfim was just a better fighter overall, like UFC caliber. I guess ready to go, and I guess where like Terrence McKinney, you can see he's still this like raw young athlete, and like he just kind of needs to get it together. But as of right now, dude, until I see Terrence McKinney go into a round 3 and win, dude, I'm convinced that he has one round of gas tank, and if he doesn't get you out of there round 1, dude, then he's probably going to lose that fight. Anything on this fight, dude?
Yeah, we both picked Terrence McKinney to win. I think we're both pretty big fans of Terrence McKinney. We know the excitement that he brings, and you know, we know he's another one of those mythical characters that I always make as far as those first round guys. And first round McKinney, that dude, he's absolutely dangerous. And he came out and he was, wild as he normally is within the first few minutes. But I thought the biggest thing was, dude, as soon as Bonfim started landing a little bit, I don't know if it kind of discouraged Terrence McKinney or what, but as soon as Bonfim started landed, all of a sudden you see Terrence McKinney backing up to the fence, and that's when Bonfim was really able to kind of get some shots off. And as you said, when the second round started, McKinney looked super tired, had his back up against the fence, just throwing this big looping hooks, just trying to keep Bonfim off of him as much as he can. But Bonfim just kept walking him down, did not respect Terrence McKinney's power or explosiveness, stayed out of range of those big shots, and timed that jumping knee beautifully. I mean, he kept knocking his mouthpiece out at multiple points in that fight just because he was crushing Terrence McKinney with big punches. Mm-hmm. And that last one there, that double knee, it was just a thing of beauty that how he set it up and got T-Rex out of there.
It was almost like, bro, like, how do you have the power to drop the legendary chin of Drew Dober? But it's like you paced yourself this time and you still gas. Like, I was so confused by that. It's like, bro, if you're still going to gas, just go in there and fucking throw hell at him. You're at least exciting when you do that. I was like, the whole first round, like, it was almost like he like wasn't really throwing. He was just kind of like just being patient. But when round 2 started, it was like, how was he gassed? Like, he didn't do anything like worthy in that round to be tired. And then it was just game over from that point on, at least in my eyes, what I saw. But I only watched it once, so that's just what I remember. And our girl, Josie Ann Nunez, dude, she did not get the knockout over Zarafarn, but she at least did get the win, dude. There were a few times when, like, she clipped Zarafarn, and I'm like, oh, she's going, here she comes, bro. There are 2 fighters in the UFC that I will literally, in my empty house, like, it'll just be me and my girlfriend, and I will be screaming at the top of my lungs and clapping. That is Josie Ann Nunez and Nate the Train Landwehr, dude. I don't know what it is about these 2 fighters. I am cheering them on like they can hear me in the octagon. Like, I'm literally screaming. It makes no sense, but I can't control myself. Thoughts on the Josie Ann Nunez versus Zarafarn fight?
I was really surprised that Vera Sarn was able to survive as long as she did, because she was taking some hellacious shots, but she was kind of on the defense a lot of the time too. She was trying her best to keep the distance, but every time she would kind of back up, Josie Ann Nunez just did her thing, just throwing them leaping hooks, just running in. She's literally jumping when she's throwing those hooks, when she's landing them to people's heads. Like, yeah, she is literally jumping when she throws the hooks, and she's still landing on these chicks, landing bombs and getting them to back up. So she's just, she is super exciting to watch. Man, I would like to see her if she could potentially move down to 35. You would just think that, with her being that small, I think if she was to move down.
She had one, and like, she missed weight by like 9 pounds or something like that. Like, she had like one fight at 135, and she missed it. She weighed like 144 for that fight or something.
And like it's crazy because she's not like a super big chick at all or anything. So it's like, yeah, dude, she's 5'2", and it's not like she's not like fat or anything. Like for 45, like, dude, she's not like a big chick at all. So you would think that, Kayla Harrison, for example, we look at Kayla Harrison. There's going to be no way she's going to make 135 regardless. I mean, that's just, just her bone density. Like, she's just she's a built big chick. Josie Ann Nunez is 5'2", and she looks like she could fight at strawweight. Like, just based on her size, if you looked at her as just a normal person, you would think if she was a fighter, oh yeah, she probably fights at 115. Like, no, she actually fights at 145, where some chicks that are like 5'10" to 6 foot fighting this weight class, and she's 5'2", taking a lot of these chicks out. So I would like to see if she can potentially move down as far as, maybe having any sort of title aspirations. But she's super fun, man, and I'm always down to watch Josie Ann Nunez start down.
Hell yeah, brother. Anything else on this card, man?
No, man. I think we pretty much covered what needed to.
All right, so let's just move into our fight news and announcements. How this works. Go through Instagram. If you want to be specific, UFC news alerts. That is what I go by. Some MMA Island, some MMA Junkie, some things like that. And I give Dorian the newly announced fights or the in the works fights. But the majority of the time, they always happen. And I get his opinion on them and immediate thoughts on those fights. So up first, we got downtown TJ Brown. Had that upset victory over. I forgot who he fought last, but. We both picked the other guy to win, or I know I did at least. He's going to be taking on Bill Algeo, dude. Senor Perfecto, April 15th. Care about that one?
Decent fight. I mean, I know Bill Algeo is one of the guys you get confused with, like multiple other guys.
Now Mike Trezano is out of the UFC, so that's one less to get confused by. So now it's just like Pat Sabatini I get him confused with, and
probably Billy Quarantillo,
Julian Arosa and Billy Quarantillo, dude. I'm still gonna get those all confused. Once I see their face, I'm like, that's this person, and I'm completely wrong. So it's all good though. So moving on, dude. Dustin Jacoby, Azamat Mirzakhanov, April 15th. Interesting fight, yeah. Azamat's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think that's a pretty fun fight. I'd be interested to see how the size advantage is going to go, because Azamat is definitely a small dude, and Dustin Jacoby's every bit of 6'3" with some pretty decent reach and a good kickboxer. So that's going to be pretty.
Not the fastest, just got a solid jab, just always jabbing, but not the fastest.
No, but he's good at using his range though. So that's one thing I'll be interested to see if Azamat kind of close the range on him.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on up, we got Edson Barboza taking on Billy Q April 15th. And a whole bunch of April 15th ones, yeah.
Wait, it's Billy Q and who is it?
Edson Barboza.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a pretty decent fight. I mean, for Edson, he's just at the point now where I think he's just kind of making fun fights, and Billy Quarantillo is always down to scrap. Edson always is too. I think Edson's been kind of fighting some wrestlers and stuff here recently, and I think he's just kind of at the point where he just wants to kind of have a fun fight. Billy Quarantillo is down to scrap, so that's a good fight.
Hell yeah. Jack Shore taking on Makwan Amir Khani. UFC 286, March 18th. Care about that one? That's a London card.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I know Jack Shore is kind of like a hot prospect, but not really.
I mean, I believe he lost to Ricky Simon last year or something like that.
Yeah. Ricky Simon crushed him, and he actually had me lose a couple parlays that day. So, not on my best side.
All right, so we got Raul Rosas Jr. returning, dude. The 18-year-old going to be returning UFC 287 April 8th to take on Christian Rodriguez. You know who Christian Rodriguez is? I think I've maybe seen him once or twice before.
No, I'm not super familiar, but Raul Rosas, he's staying busy. Just fought this past December, and he's going to turn around and fight in April. So, 4 months, and he's right back in the octagon. The only thing I don't want to see him take too many fights in succession and not kind of have the chance to kind of grow himself. I think he might be kind of fighting through his first UFC contract right now, but I definitely don't want him to take too many fights and kind of stun his growth. As far as his development.
I think I understand what you're saying. Like, you don't want to see him fight just a bunch of cans where he's just gonna fucking finish them all in the first round. Like, we're not learning anything about him here. Like, he needs to face some adversity, take him to decision or some shit like that. Like, I don't want to see him just crush these guys. How about you? Yeah.
Well, yeah, to a certain extent, but at the same time too, I think with an 18-year-old kid on your hands, he's got a lot of time to grow. And what I don't want them to do is, if he ends up taking 3 fights this year and he finishes all the guys that he fights, all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're going to try to put him up in a fight against Umar Nurmagomedov or, somebody there's somebody who's super dangerous like that who could potentially give him some problems. I would like to kind of keep him. I would like to see the UFC keep him on kind of like the slow train as far as his development. Just don't try to rush him up to the top too quick. Take your time with him. You don't want to see him fight a can every time, but I don't want to see him get rushed into the top 15 either. I guess I'm kind of in the middle as far as how I want to kind of see it play out, but I'd rather see, No,
Jay Wolf's
exactly.
with you, brother.
Yeah,
Umar might kill.
Jay Wolf. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Umar would absolutely smash Raul right now. So I don't want to see Raul in those types of fights. Just kind of slow building, man, because you got something special on your hands with him, I think.
Man, maybe, dude. I'm still, I guess, not convinced yet. Jay Perrin wasn't the best guy, even though I thought he was tough, dude. I can't believe he got cut right after that. So
You picked him to win.
I know, dude. I didn't because he took the guy on Contender Series all the way to decision, and Jay Perrin's last two fights before that, he had took like really tough dudes to decision too. So I was like, damn, like this guy's tough. I think maybe Jay Perrin was underestimating the kid and just got caught, dude. Shit happens, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely. Well, and I think too, he was coming in a little bit fired up because he kind of seen that he felt like he was getting served up on a silver platter to Raul Rosas. Oh well, this is the guy that they think he's going to win his debut against me. So he came out and was talking a lot of shit to Raul Rosas, and I think it took Perrin off his game a little bit. But Rosas, as you said, Perrin didn't get finished in those other two fights, and Raul Rosas went out there and finished them with ease. So. I do
Man,
think as far as talent, Rosa's got a little something. He's
I
got
guess
something.
I'm I guess I'm not on the train yet. How about that? This is one of the times like where we can note because you like to point out times that I jump on and off trains. This is one time that it's like I'm just not convinced. As where like you remember early, dude, when I was like, dude, have you seen Sugar Sean O'Malley? This was back in like 2018. I was like, bro, I cannot wait for him to fight. And then like when he very first fought, I was like, bro, wasn't it great? And you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And look at us now, man. Look at us now.
Yeah, because you were talking about like the fights, his fight with Terrion Ware, which was like absolutely awful, and he was like, "Dude, that was so amazing," and I was like, "Dude, no, it absolutely was not. That fight was not good at all. I don't know what you're talking about."
All right, dude. Let's move on up. Dude, your guy is back. Bobby King Green is going to be taking on Jared Flash Gordon, man. April 22nd. Care about that one?
I think that's a little bit of a good bounce back for both of them. I think Jared Gordon, he ends up getting another guy that kind of has a big name, and for Bobby Green, I think he get a guy that is pretty beatable. I think that Jared Gordon will try to come in and use a little bit of his wrestling, but I think if he tries to keep it boxing, similar to how he did with Patty, I think Jared Gordon's going to be in for it, trying to outbox. Yeah, he's going to be in for it, trying to outbox Bobby Green.
Yeah, and then moving on up, they just got Chris Gutierrez being like the legend killer now. Chris Gutierrez is going to be taking on Pedro Munoz April 15th. Care about that one at all?
That's pretty interesting because Pedro's never been finished before, and Gutierrez has been finishing a lot of dudes here as of late. So I think that could be a little bit of an interesting fight. But the way that Pedro fights, he does a lot of looping shots. Gutierrez got a lot of beautiful straight shots, knees, straight punches, kicks. I think Munoz is going to have a little bit of a hard time finding range against Gutierrez.
All right. My phone's kind of dying here, so we got to hurry up. It looks like UFC newcomer Christian Leroy Duncan in the photo. It looks like he's the Cage Warriors champion. Going to be taking on Dusko Todorovic, UFC 286, March 18th. To me, I believe UFC is serving Dusko Todorovic up to get probably crushed by this UFC newcomer Cage Warriors champion. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I know Todorovic, but not really familiar with the Cage Warriors fighter.
All right. Saeed Nurmagomedov going to be taking on Jonathan Martinez March 11th. Care about that one?
Now, that's a pretty quick turnaround for Saeed. I feel like he just fought not that long ago. But he's kind of going down fighting Jonathan Martinez. I feel like he never ends up getting a fight with one of the top guys.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Yeah. I guess. I guess I'm a fan of him. Of like Jonathan Dragon Martinez. I just don't know about this whole Coach Kraus like the situation, dude. I wonder like is it affecting like the dudes that train at like the factory, I believe it's Factory X, like the Mark Montoya coaches, James Krause, they all kind of like train together. So it's like I wonder how that's affecting all that shit, dude.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, especially guys that were kind of mainstays with James Krause. The only reason why I didn't think Brandon Moreno was going to be affected because Brandon Moreno had been a champion before he had came to James Krause, but guys like Jeff Molina and Jonathan Martinez who have kind of been with James Krause for a little bit, it's going to be interesting to kind of see, kind of where they bounce back and kind of how they tend to develop from here. But I do think a guy like Jonathan Martinez, I think he'll be okay because he is a talented fighter. But I think in the matchup with Saeed, that's a tough matchup to make when you're in a transition of getting new coaches.
Yeah. We got Pierre Rodriguez taking on Julian Robertson. I don't know Pierre Rodriguez. Maybe seen her fight once. The name kind of sounds familiar, but Julian Robinson returning April 15th.
Yeah,
All
Jillian
right.
Robinson. Jillian Robinson coming off her submission of Rose,
Yeah,
but yeah,
in
not
the
familiar
flow
with Pierre though.
grappling or yeah, dude, we just not talking about Ricky Simon, Ricky Simone, however you want to say it. Gonna be taking on Dorian Sky Song Yadong. April 22nd. Care about that one? Of course you do. Let me know.
Yeah, definitely do. Then that's actually a tough fight for Song because we were just talking about Ricky Simone, how tough he is, and how he finished Jack Shore when he was a pretty big underdog. And Simone's got good wrestling, good hands. He's got a very good chin, and
I guess
man,
I'm just I guess I'd immediately I'm like, oh, Song's gonna crush him. Like Uriah Faber knocked out fucking Ricky. I to me it don't feel like it was that long ago, but I know through COVID it's just been years now. But it's all just felt like one time. I feel like it wasn't that long ago. But you got knocked out by a 40-year-old Uriah Faber. I think Song Yadong is gonna crush him.
yeah, 2019, man. So I mean, that was 4 years ago at this point when Uriah Faber came
So
back and knocked
crazy.
out. Yeah, no, it was definitely a little bit ago. And I actually, if I come to think of it, that might actually be Ricky Simone's last loss was to
Maybe.
Uriah Faber. Yeah, I think that was his last loss. If you'd have to correct me on that. I'm not looking at his fight schedule right in front of me, but I remember he's kind of been on a roll, within his last 3 or 4 fights and. Song, I love me some Song, and
Yeah.
that dude can bring the pain, but he's definitely got a fight on his hands at Ricky Simone. Simone's a dog.
Yeah, Dorian's a fan of Yadong. All right, moving on up. Waldo Cortez Acosta going to be taking on Junior Tafa. I believe that's looks like Justin Tafa's family member, probably younger brother. Waldo Cortez Acosta returning there to throw those baseball pitch punches through someone's damn face and somehow not finish them, dude.
Well, that should be if he's a brother of Justin Tafa and he
Those
fights
leg
anything like
kicks.
his brother, if he fights anything like his brother, that should be a very fun fight for as long as it lasts. So I'll be into that.
Yeah, man. I believe I'm gonna count that one going over, dude. This Waldo dude, I don't feel like you can like finish him. He just endures punishment, dude. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting fight. Steve Garcia returning for Shylin Norton Becky. He is the one that was involved. I guess he wasn't involved. He fought Derek Minner when the whole Derek Minner situation happened. So returning against Steve Garcia. Care about that one at all?
No.
All right. Lando Venata is returning to fight Daniel Zellhuber. You remember Daniel Zellhuber? He was the like tall kid that fought James Krause's dude, and he just came in there and just he was like sticking
He
and
fought
moving,
like
and he was
flat.
getting so like irritated by him, and then he fucking lost the fight, but he was undefeated before that fight. But Daniel Zellhuber versus Lando Venata.
I know me some Lando Venata too, and Lando Venata is a guy who's been around for a little bit now. So, but he's kind of a good test for UFC newcomers like Zell Huber. So, should be a good fight.
All right, moving on up, we got Dana Bakary taking on Brady Heaston, April 15th. Care about that one at all?
Not really.
All right, Cameron Simon, the South African dude that trains with Drika, is going to be taking on Mana Martinez. Care about that one?
Yeah, I would say that should be that should be a pretty good fight. I like that fight.
Yeah, I believe you sent me this one earlier in the week. We got King Kong Alexander Romanov taking on Alexander Volkov, dude. Draco.
That's an interesting fight, man. I think for not for Drago. Well, obviously for Drago, he's gonna have to try to keep he's going to have to keep Romanov off of him. But Romanov, kind of got a little bit exposed in that Tabora fight. So I'm interested to kind of see what changes he's made in his game. And, we got big Volkov now, walking around at 262, and he's looking every bit of it, if not more than 262. So if King Kong can't get it down to the ground, it might be a rough fight for him.
Yeah. I think he'll get him down with ease, at least at first. It's just if he can't finish him in that first round, my faith in King Kong slowly starts to drop off the longer it goes on. The Romanov fight happened in Utah. Oh, let me put that up on here. Romanov fight happened in Utah when he was gassed. Yeah, I will give you that. But who did he fight? Was it Juan Espino when in the third round, like he was damn gassed too? He like hit him with a nut shot, and the fight ended, and he ended up winning off like the judges.
It was like a weird decision. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do love me some King Kong Romanov. He was, I believe, my fighter to watch in last year's show, right? Like a heavyweight. I was like, bro, he's going to be good, and he just got exposed this year. So doesn't have the best gas thing, but he is looking better and better every time he shows up. Like I think like he weighed in the first time like 20 pounds heavier, and then like 2 weeks later he was like 20 pounds fucking lighter. It's like, what the hell? How did you lose 20 pounds? In like the 2 weeks? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, but hopefully King Kong Romanov can get back on the winning track this year. But if you ask me, I think the prospect to look out this for is definitely got to be Sergey Pavlovich. The dude just came out of nowhere this past few years and just took the UFC by storm, dude. Crushing all of our favorites, yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, especially with the Derek Lewis one, that one hurt.
All right. Next fight, we got Natan Levy taking on Pete Rodriguez, or I believe my girl said that he looked like Bad Bunny or Anwell, one of the two. I was like, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Not really interested in either.
All right. One that I know you will be interested in. We got Kelvin Gastelum taking on Chris Action Man Curtis. Give me your thoughts on that one, man.
Hey, that's a fun fight, and I actually like the Gastelum and Curtis fight a little bit more than I did Gastelum and Imavov. I thought Imavov was just going to kind of box him and dance around him, where I think Chris Curtis is really going to bring the fight to Kelvin Gastelum. But you could look at it on the other hand for Kelvin Gastelum and say this is a very winnable fight for Kelvin Gastelum. Someone who's going to be a little bit closer to his size. They both like to stand and bang, and Gastelum, we know, carries some power, and Chris Curtis does like to. And he's got a good chin, and Chris Curtis does too. But man, not a lot of guys tend to stand in front of Kelvin Gastelum, eat his shots, and manage to walk through them. So should be a fun fight.
Yeah, man, I'm for sure interested in that one. Another one that I'm going to be interested in: Dan Hooker versus Jalen the Tarantula Turner, dude. And is it me, or is like every time like Jalen Turner fights, it's against a person from like Australia or like New Zealand? It's like, damn, this dude is just fighting nothing but people from like city kickboxing.
Jamie Malarkey, Brad Riddell. Yeah, Jamie Malarkey, Brad Riddell, and now Dan Hooker. Is like he's literally fighting all those guys. And for Dan Hooker, you gotta take your hat off, tip your hat to him for be willing to take on all these tough fights, but that is a super tough matchup for him. I do think that I'm not going to say that Dan Hooker doesn't have a chance to win, because we haven't really seen Jalen Turner get pushed kind of deep in a fight like Dan Hooker can really push somebody. But just as far as attributes, man, Jalen Turner's kind of got it all, and Dan Hooker, he's got good striking, of course, but his chin's been a little bit tested as of late, and Jalen Turner's got some power, so should be pretty interesting to see.
I think 155 Dan Hooker is a lot different than 145 Dan Hooker. Like the shots that he took from like Poirier and just threw back, dude, was like, damn, like. But I think the size of the tarantula might be an issue.
look at how Chandler put him out though. Chandler put him out pretty quick, and that was after he took all that damage against Dustin Poirier. Then he ended up getting knocked out from Arnold Allen. So just in a lot of the fights that he's taken, he's taken a lot of damage in those fights. So It's similar to how I made the comparison with RoboCop taking all the damage and it adds up. Man, that damage just adds up after a while.
Yeah, man, for sure, dude. It's raining so much here, dude. It's just like, eventually some shit's just gonna flood, dude. And the sunroof in my car started leaking earlier, so that's not cool. Guess that's what
Nice.
happens when you drive a '06. So moving on up, dude. We got GM round 3, Gerald Meerschaert. Oh man, taking on Joe Pyfer, dude. Thoughts on that fight? Interesting fight. They're trying to give Joe Pyfer that Kamsai treatment. I think GM round 3 gets that GM round 3 sub. How about you?
When is the fight?
April 8th.
April 8th. Because I remember Joe Pyfer took that fight last time, it was like in October. He said he wanted to really try to get some time in to kind of get his body more fitted for middleweight. So I think with him taking a fight like this against Gerald Meerschaert, I think he knows the type of challenge that Gerald Meerschaert can bring to him. If he ends up sizing up for middleweight in the proper way that he really wanted to, as long as he can start the takedowns, I don't see how he loses.
All right, dude. All right. We got Priscilla Cachoeira taking on Karine Silva, April 22nd. Care about that one?
No.
All right. Chaos Williams going to be taking on UFC newcomer Ronaldo Bay. I'm not even trying to say Bedoya. I think that's how you say it. Chaos Williams fighting UFC newcomer. Kind of surprising, eh?
Yeah, we hadn't seen him in a while, so that's kind of been surprising too. That Chaos has been a little bit inactive. I don't know if he's had an injury, but good to see him back.
Yeah, Jocelyn Edwards taking on Lucy Podilova. She fought not too long ago, yeah.
I don't remember, to be honest.
All right, well, that's all the fight announcements for this week. Anything that I missed that you want to throw out?
No, I think all the ones that I sent you pretty much covered most of this.
And we'll just give one last quick scroll through here. Oh, gotta give me your thoughts on, or did I ask? May have asked. What are your thoughts on Alex Pereira and like Jamal Hill going back and forth?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier. But for people who weren't listening earlier in the show, I'll just say that I want to see Alex Pereira, maybe defend the title at least a little bit before he ends up making the move up to 205, because there could be a potential to where if Alex Pereira does win that fight, there could be a chance where you're holding up both divisions, because these fights could be taking a long time to actually transpire. And the background story is cool, but I'd rather see Jamal Hill and Yuri. If I had my choice of fights, I'd rather see Jamal Hill and Yuri.
Yeah, I cannot wait for Yuri to come back. I'm just a diehard fan of Yuri at this point, dude. But how funny was the snow thing? He's like, I'm coming. It's like I didn't know to like take him serious or to like kind of laugh at him, because it was just like, bro, you are a fucking madman. That is crazy.
And I thought Jamal Hill's response video was also funny when he's kind of sitting in a similar setting with snow behind him in the woods, and he's just like, "Where you at though? Like, where you at?" Like he's like screaming just like him. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah. So I guess right here at the end, just stay right here for just a few more minutes. Answer any questions if y'all gotta have. Tom says at least you didn't have to brush 4 inches off your snow. Oh yeah, dude. But to be honest, living in Virginia, I do like it when we get snow, because they'll call for snow and they'll shut down everything. They could be calling for snow. It could not even snow, and they'll shut everything down. So when they shut stuff down, your boy over here don't got to go to work. And if you're going to tell me that I don't got to go to work and I still get paid for that day, no complaints from me. And, I don't mind driving in the snow if I have to. It ain't that serious. We grew up in it for the most part. Now, on the other side of the state where Dorian is at, it's got to snow a few inches before they start closing shit down. But, not on this side of this state over at the water. They don't really
and I work in car sales too, so they're not shutting down for anything at all. Rain, hail, sleet, or snow, they're going to have us up there doing something at the dealership.
Yeah. Jay Wolf asked the recent Conor McGregor news, whether it's true or not. Sounds like the fight is between Dana. Wait, hold on. It sounds like the fight to make is between Dana and Connor's wife. Do y'all think the news story is true or not? I think this happened like like last year now. Like I feel like at this point, dude, it's just like Irish media is just like recirculating shit like, Conor McGregor did this. Conor McGregor did this. Like at this point, having so much money, it would be irrational to think that people aren't out to get him. I mean, if he did do it, that's super fucked up. But it would. I find it rather hard to believe, knowing that his wife, in all of the pictures, dude, his wife is always like right there beside him. It's like you're telling me that he was able to do whatever he done to you with his wife sitting right there, and she was cool with it. Maybe she is cool with it, but it's just like you're on a yacht party with all these people, and this happened, and no one said anything. Um, I guess we'll see what happens, but I am one to believe in this. The way that things should work is that people are innocent until proven guilty, unless you got some hardcore proof up front. In that case, you're fucked either way. But yeah, I like to let shit play out and see what happens at the end. Pretty fucked up if so, but who the hell knows? And yeah, dude, how about you?
Yeah. I mean, it's just hard telling with McGregor, man. I mean, I think if you said a lot of times with a lot of his cases, well, you want to try to give him the benefit of the doubt. I would have given the benefit of the doubt on punching the old man too, but you end up seeing the video of him actually punching the old guy, and it's like, damn, you really you really just punch an old dude because he didn't want to take a shot of your shitty ass whiskey? Like what are you doing? So sometimes when it comes to trusting celebrities like that, with certain instances, I try to be a little bit more. I try to be a little bit more tentative and not try to take their side immediately, but at the same time, I don't want to immediately accuse him of being completely innocent, because we don't know the whole situation just yet, and there's still a lot to happen through this investigation before anything is finalized as far as what could happen. But it has seemed like the Irish media has a little bit of an agenda out towards Conor McGregor here as of late. They've been kind of, a lot of any type of negative headlines they've been able to grab of him, they have managed to. I don't know if there's something that Conor McGregor did do, and I don't know if there's something that Conor McGregor did do to the Irish media at all, but they've kind of had an agenda out towards him here lately. I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, man. Tom saying wealth and power corrupts often. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and kind of bringing up your point too, to where everybody's on the yacht and not saying anything. If everybody looks at Conor McGregor, they're like, "Hey, that's Conor McGregor, bro. That's pretty cool." So maybe you don't say anything because it's McGregor.
What seems kind of odd is it was like a lady from his like hometown that he grew up with that's like 10 years older than him. So it's like, what was she, like a past babysitter that you were just trying to clap some cheeks or something like that, and she didn't want it? But it said she jumped off the boat because she was scared. It's like no one saw this. Like, no one saw this happen? I don't know. It's just. It's a weird situation. So we got another one right here. I guess I'm gonna kind of flip this one toward you, Dorian. You're not really too much into UFC trading cards. You really don't know who has a card. I guess who is a person that you're probably like, damn, like if like he had a card, like that'd be sick to get.
Man, me as far as my guy. I love me some Adrian Yanez as far as one of the top prospects. But I think as far as
he was a rookie this year, dude. So like all of his cards came out this year. I've yet to get anything a cool Adrian Yanez card. I think I've got like one red prism, but like as far as like autograph or anything like that, I haven't got any Adrian Yanez. I do wish that I would have though, but the year is not over. I'm not done opening 2022 stuff yet.
But I think as far as McBreezy's question, with the Leadze, Jailton, or Hanat, I would say Jailton. Absolutely. And I'm surprised we actually didn't talk about him a little bit more on this past weekend's card, because man, he absolutely ran through Shamil Abdul-Rahimov, and he's jumping back and forth between light heavyweight and heavyweight and doing the same thing to both both guys at both weight classes. So it was super impressive when Hamza did it because he was doing it from 170 to 185. And that's a 15-pound jump. But you're talking 205 to you're fighting guys that are 205 pounds to 265 pounds. You're talking a 60-pound difference with a lot of the guys that you're fighting, and he's going in there and ragdolling them.
It blows my mind that he can even make 205, dude. It's like he was every bit of 240, dude. I get, dude. He's got to take. I guarantee you, that's an 8-week cut for him, dude.
Well, dude, the crazy part is they seem to think that 205 is going to be the weight class that is best suited for him. But Shamil Abdul-Rahimov at the top 15 like heavyweight right now, or a top 15 heavyweight right now, and I mean he absolutely got sliced through by Jelton. So yeah, Jelton probably deserves the one right now just because that dude's on fire.
Yeah, this upcoming year, so the new I guess the new year of cards is going to start at Prism. I believe it's going to come out probably the April-May timeframe. That's when it usually comes out. And some prospects we got for this year are obviously Raul Rosas, Bo Nickel, hopefully is going to be in there. Jelton Almeida, Alex Pereira. Dude, can you tell me why Alex Pereira does not have a UFC card yet, and he's the champion?
And he's been in the UFC for almost about 2 years now. Yeah, so
I mean, I guess the cards just came out last year, so I guess he wasn't really kind of popping until until earlier like this year, which they don't really like to introduce people like midway through the year. They printed, I think, Chase Hooper in the second set of the year, like in 2021, like out of like nowhere. Like he wasn't like in the first set, but then he ended up going in the second set. Tom bought hangers. See before I know about it. Green flood. Nothing close to jam. Yeah, quality control is usually pretty damn bad on those, dude. Those are gelatin 14 heavyweight. Nice. Joe Pfeiffer. Yeah, Joe Pfeiffer. What's up? We've all talked about everything. His brother gets overlooked because dude, Usman is good. Yeah, I would love to see Usman in the UFC. How about you, man?
Yeah, and he absolutely dominated Usman Nurmagomedov. He absolutely dominated Patricky Pitbull in their fight that they ended up having. And Patricky came out after the fight and said, you know what, I think if I fight at 100%, you know, I'll be able to beat Usman. But no, Usman absolutely neutralized him, took him down, and then he was able to keep it. When he kept it on the feet, he was able to control the range, just box him up, and just fought a clean fight. Yeah, Usman's a savage right now, man. I think he's gonna be running Bellator for a long time.
Yeah, I think if there's a few, just like two people, like off the top of my head, that it's like I don't like watch Bellator or anything like that. But if there's two fighters that I'm like, I've always kind of kept an eye on that haven't been like in the UFC, but I'm always like, damn, what would they do in the UFC? It's been Usman and MVP, dude. And then MVP lost to Mike Perry and BKFC, dude. So
yeah.
Like, I don't know about that anymore, but Usman, definitely interested. I think we'll see him in the UFC at some point, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think eventually, you know, him and Islam, of course, train with each other. You know, you don't know where, as far as they're going to go with Khabib not being involved in coaching anymore. But I think that you could definitely see maybe Islam have a few more title defenses. And if he retires, you could see Usman make the transition over.
Yeah, man. So, dude, the team Khabib, or I guess formerly team Khabib, is going to pretty much just, dude, they got someone nice in pretty much every weight class, dude. So, going to take over for the most part. Interested to see what happens now that he is no longer going to be coaching. I just have a hard time believing that he's not going to be involved at all. I think over there in at what is it, Camp Eagle or some shit like that, like he's going to be there. I just think that he's not going to be like, you know, doing the whole travel everywhere and shit like that.
Yeah, I gotta think that he's gonna have some voice of influence over there with him. You know, to think that he's been involved with these guys' careers and stuff as long as he has been, and to step away, I think it's gonna be hard for Khabib to kind of necessarily pull the trigger back completely. But I do understand where he's coming from by wanting to start a family at the same time as well.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, they all could retire undefeated. That is crazy. Yeah, dude. But there are for sure some dude, Umar and Usman, dude, both look it's like they're good everywhere. It's like they are good striking. They'll take you down. They have good submissions, dude. They're all pretty damn good. Yeah. But yeah, we went on here for about an hour and a half or about an hour 20 or so like that. But nothing really else. Yeah. Already popped that one up. Crazy Clay Guida still rocking. Dude, I want to see who was it that has fought at UFC 100, 200, and they want to fight at UFC
Jim
300.
Miller.
Is it Jim Miller, dude?
Yeah.
If hopefully Jim Miller gets that UFC 300 fight. And dude, Clay Guida's been around for a long damn time too. So fuck who it's dude, it's crazy. It is definitely crazy. Some of these guys just going on like, dude, what are you made of? What is your heart made of? Like that is absolutely bananas, dude. But I guess main points of the show. Damn, Lauren Murphy got the shit beat out of her. So if you guys wouldn't mind, treat that like button like Lauren Murphy or like Jessica Andrade treated Lauren Murphy this past weekend. That would be fantastic. And that means it beat the absolute shit out of the like button. Would be fantastic. Subscribe to the channel if you are not. I'm sure all of y'all pretty much are. And yeah, leave all your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate all of y'all that stopped by today. At some point, we had like 8 or 9 of y'all in here, but I appreciate every single one of y'all for stopping by, saying what's up. Dorian is the pick champ. I see him already. Get ready. Can't let you guys forget that. I have officially lost the pick champ for the first time this year, but it's all right. Couple week break and I'll get it back. Remember, no fights this upcoming weekend, so we'll be back next week. As usual, though, we won't be talking about any of the leftover fights. We'll just give you some news and then give y'all the picks for the upcoming weekend and hopefully win that shit back. But yeah, that's going to be all from us this time. I am Matt. Dorian is on one of the sides of your screen. I'm not sure. See, look at you. Anything before we get out of here, man?
Pig champ, baby. Let's go. Bring it home.
Yeah, Dorian. Fake champ. All right. If you watch my card videos, I will see you Monday for a card video. If not, we'll see y'all next week for the podcast. I appreciate every single one of y'all for stopping by here today. And yeah, catch y'all later. Peace.
Peace.